Thank you very much for inviting me here.
Certainly.
I believe my great-grandfather came here, and my grandmother came here, my father came here. So it's an honor for me, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Mr. Modi has come to power. India's economy has improved, according to independent economic assessments. What's your take on the current government's economic policies? Have they improved the country's position?
I mean, what we see on the ground is massive unemployment and dramatic increase in prices. And this is one of the reasons we won the Karnataka election, was that there was a feeling in India that there is a set of people who have a huge amount of wealth, and then there's a large mass of Indian people who are poor and struggling. Huge income disparities and unemployment. I think it's a 40-year high for unemployment. So to say that the economy is doing well, I don't quite agree with it.
And are there particular policies that are cause for concern or that should be changed?
I think the central difference between how we see it and how the BJP sees it is we believe in decentralization of power. We believe in supporting the small and medium industries, and we believe that they are the engine of growth in India. Mm-hmm. And they tend to concentrate power and wealth in few limited people. So that's, I would say, broadly, that's the difference in the economic perspective.
Okay. If your party were to return to power, what changes would it seek to implement to ensure the rights of minorities in India?
I mean, India has a very robust system already in place. That system has been weakened, right? But it's not that that system doesn't exist. If the conversation, the democratic conversation is allowed to be fostered, then these issues will settle themselves.
So the rule of law is in place. It just perhaps isn't followed.
No, it's you have to have an independent set of institutions mm-hmm. that are not pressurized and controlled, and that's been the norm in India. This is an aberration. Okay. What is taking place in India. So, from our perspective, the foundations of democracy in India are very strong. And the protections exist, but they're being sort of disturbed.
Mm-hmm. And you see that if Congress came to power, they could quickly be restored.
I mean, quickly, I don't know, but the Congress party is the institution that conceptualized them in the first place, mm-hmm. right? So we don't view them as our institutions. We view them as institutions of the state. And so we ensured that there was independence and neutrality in these institutions. And it's not difficult to do if that's what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you about, again, welcome to the Press Club, and let me ask you about press freedom, very important issue for us all. I should, full disclosure, my colleague, Vivek Raghuvanshi, was arrested several weeks ago and charged with, and accused of espionage. He's an Indian citizen. And what does that, he's been working for my company for more than 30 years and as a journalist. And I wanted to ask you what that says about the state of press freedom in India when someone can be just accused of, even after, if someone with such a reputation can be accused in such a cavalier manner.
No, I think the fact that there is a weakening of press freedoms, this is not hidden. I mean, everybody knows it. It's apparent in India. The rest of the world can see it. And I think press freedom is very, very critical for a democracy. I mean, one should be open to criticism, and one should listen to criticism. I mean, that's the feedback loop that that builds democracies. And definitely there is a weakening of press freedom. I mean, and it's not just press freedom. It's on multiple axes. On multiple axes, there is a clampdown on the institutional framework that allowed India to talk, that allowed the Indian people to negotiate. I view India as a negotiation between its people, between different languages, different cultures, different histories. And the architecture that Mahatma Gandhi set up was to allow that negotiation to be carried out fairly and freely. And that structure that allows the negotiation between India's people is coming under pressure. I mean, this is a question you should ask Mr. Modi. So more apt.
Okay.
I don't know how you'll get there.
As soon as we get him here.
I don't know how you'll get there, but yeah, I think we better question directed at him.
Okay. What are your concerns with regard to the use of the citizenship law to expel Muslim Indians who have lived in India for generations? How would you handle things differently?
I think all Indian people, right, have a right to expression. All Indian people have a right to religious freedom. All Indian communities should feel free to express themselves. So I don't differentiate between any community, any caste. I think India, as I mentioned just now, is a conversation, and the freer and more open that conversation, the more powerful India becomes.
Okay. You have said that Modi's BJP engages in the politics of hatred and violence. Can you explain what you mean by this?
I mean, it's explained in the sentence, right? They sort of generate a certain amount of hatred in society. They polarize society, and they're not inclusive. They don't embrace everybody, and they divide society. That's yeah, and that's damaging in my view to India, because India has always had a tradition of conversation, of openness. All our great leaders, spiritual, political, Mahatma Gandhi, Buddha, all of them promoted harmony, promoted peace, promoted conversation. So it's in our culture, it's in our history to sort of bring people together and have these dialogues. So that's, I think it's a difference in ideology between us and the BJP. We feel India should be allowed to express itself, and we feel that political leaders should be comfortable in sort of being questioned and should learn from that questioning. So, I mean, it's just a difference in viewpoint.
For such a divisive figure, Modi maintains very high levels, in fact, worldwide high levels of popularity. Why do you think that's the case? Why do so many Indians support the Modi government?
I mean, there is a definite capture of the institutions of the country. There's a definite capture of the press in the country. I'm not convinced that I don't believe everything I hear. I walked across India, walked from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and talked directly to millions of Indian people, and they didn't seem very happy to me. And they were very clear that there were serious issues with regards to unemployment. There was massive price rise. So there was an angst in the people. Now, and look at the Karnataka election, and wait and watch the next 3 or 4 state elections. That, I think, is a better indicator of what's going to happen.
You're here in Washington. Washington has a cozying up, if you will, to the Modi government. Do you feel like this is a mistake? Do you feel like this is not a the U.S. should pursue
who am I to advise?
policies?
Who am I to advise Washington on what they want to do. You know, I mean, it's their choice. They have to decide about these things. It's pretty clear from our perspective where we've got to go. There are certain values that we protect, and we're very serious about protecting those values. As I said, the conversation between the people of India, the idea that all Indians should have space, equal expression. These are things that for us are non-negotiable, and we fight for them, and we pay the price.